And running backs, man, like, he brought up Elijah Mitchell, Raheem Mostert. He's right about that. You can find those guys, but those type of guys just don't hold up. We've seen Elijah Mitchell get banged up. Raheem Mostert can't stay healthy for 17 games.
Well, let me ask you.
That's the difference.
Let me ask you. Are you scheming against Elijah Mitchell?
No.
Are you scheming? And I love Mostert. I was a huge Mostert fan.
I'm not scheming against him.
No, and those are really good players.
You're scheming against Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry.
You're petrified of where he is at all times.
No
right?
doubt.
Right? And so I think about the space that guy opens up when the ball's not in his hands. I think about the space that he creates once he gets separation on the field as a route runner. What he can do schematically in terms of chess piece, pre-snap and forcing a defense to bend more than it wants to. Man, and there's just a lot there. I want to get back to the quarterback, though. Can we get back into the quarterback?
Yeah, go ahead.
He said a couple of interesting things that I want your opinion on. The Brock Purdy thing. I am surprised he's back this soon. Maybe I sound naive. Maybe I sound uneducated. I'm legitimately shocked he's healthy and ready to go this quickly. I thought it would be maybe a little longer.
Right.
I mean, we're all guessing, right? And I don't pretend to have some medical degree. But, this guy had a devastating elbow injury and is, basically a full go on July 26th.
Chasky, there was no situation in which I saw him playing in the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. I did not think that he'd be suiting up for Pittsburgh. No. I did not think he'd be suiting up at SoFi Stadium against the LA Rams in week 2. And I did not think he'd be ready for week 3 on a short week against the New York Giants for the home opener, Thursday Night Football. I am stunned that
right?
Lynch, right out of the gate, said, hey, look, he's a full go. Now, he will be on the pitch count. However, he's going to be the leader of the clubhouse, and he's going to take the reps with the ones. Mm-hmm. And then when you think about the backup spot, he's earned it. But you think about the backup spot, Trey Lance has split reps with Sam Darnold.
Well, let me make a really good point here.
That's another shocker.
But everybody's losing their mind about reps. And here's what I would say to everybody. He got all the reps last year, Trey Lance, okay? And he still looked a little skittish at times. For the handful of games that we saw him. Brock Purdy got 1 out of every 8, 9, 10 reps, okay? Because he was running with the 3s. He looked pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. So I know we were going to lose our minds about this person getting reps and that person getting reps. Here's what I would say to you. It's about the quality of the reps you get, not the quantity of the reps. Put good film out there, you'll get more opportunities for more reps.
No doubt.
Do good stuff day in, day out, drill in, drill out, and those opportunities will present themselves. And then make the most of it like Brock did. He said Wally Pipp, and that's such a great example of, Wally Pipp was the guy who played in front of Lou Gehrig before Lou Gehrig got an opportunity, and then he ended up breaking the consecutive games played streak in baseball. And it's a term for younger people that maybe don't know. Getting Wally Pipped is what Lou Gehrig did to him. Yep. And in this case, Brock Purdy, Wally Pipp, Trey Lance. But the way sports works, and I feel like people think it's so cyclical. Think of how great Joe Montana was. Did he get banged up?
All the time.
Okay. How about Patrick Mahomes currently?
Yeah, he gets banged up all the time.
There are going to be opportunities, and I'm not saying that Brock's getting banged up. I'm saying there'll be a blowout. There'll be maybe he's underperforming. He needs his arm to be rested. Maybe something happens. He doesn't perform well. Life works itself out. Everyone's losing their minds about getting an opportunity. You're going to get opportunities every day in practice.
But you know what? If you're Brock Purdy, you don't want Trey Lance to have an opportunity.
I agree with that.
If you're Brock Purdy, you're making making under $900,000 this year in the state of California as a quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. And with Brock Purdy in the lineup, and he's back right now, and he pulls up that Ann Killian article saying this is a no excuse season. If you're Brock Purdy, you're saying, I need to play 17 games.
Yes.
I need to prove that I can be healthy. I can lead this team to the promised land. I could go get paid because that's what it's. You want to have team success, but you also want to have long-term financial stability. And right now, Brock Purdy doesn't have that. If he gets hurt and Trey Lance comes in, he could Wally Pipp him and usurp him and take the job back. All of a sudden, Brock Purdy's just this great story in 2022, and maybe he doesn't get that money, and maybe he doesn't get another opportunity.
It's a great point. It's a great point.
Brock Purdy, for him, he's thinking to himself, I don't want to give Trey Lance a chance to play in the regular season.
You're 100% right. How quickly did things turn for Jimmy Garoppolo? 2019, people could have all their opinions on Jimmy G now. 2019 was the best 49er quarterback season going back to Garcia. Okay? They went to the Super Bowl. They were beating the Kansas City Chiefs by 10 points. And you can say, Joe, them losing in that fourth quarter was the beginning of the death. Fine, I'll listen to that. How long was the rope? They lost week 1 the following year to Arizona in an empty stadium. And people were losing their minds.
And he went out there with Dante Pettis, Trent Taylor, Kendrick Bourne, and wide receiver.
And Kittle got hurt in that game.
You know what I'm saying? And part of it was on Jimmy for throwing in the accurate football on a tight end screen.
The point that I'm getting at is that the NFL is fickle. And so to your point about Brock Purdy, he's going to have to prove it this year.
No doubt.
And next year and the year after. When you win a Super Bowl, you become a made man, right? That's different. That's a different conversation. Like Mahomes is a made man twice over. He won the MVP,
Brock Purdy's not there yet, but he has a chance to be. Think about this, though.
He has a chance to get there, but he's going to have to continue to earn his spot every day, and I think he'll do that.
If you're the quarterback for the 49ers, is there any better situation? There's maybe Kansas City, maybe Buffalo, maybe Philadelphia,
Philly,
maybe Dallas with Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. The 49ers, if you're playing quarterback for this team, you have all the you have a 1,000-yard receiver in Brandon Ayuk. You have one of the top 5 playmakers in all of football in Deebo Samuel. You have one of the another top 5 playmaker in Christian McCaffrey, and one of the best tight ends in football in George Kittle.
And
you got the best left tackle who's going to protect your blind side.
And a great play caller.
You get it. And a great play caller. You come into a great situation
100%.
with the 49ers. So if you're Brock or Trey, they're really, in that sense, to Ann Killian's point about the article, there's no excuse for this offense not to thrive. If you're a quarterback on this football team with all those assets, and all those assets are healthy, you have no excuse but to prosper in this offense.
And that's why I keep going back to Kyle Shanahan, because Kyle Shanahan could have easily put his arms around Jimmy Garoppolo in that 2020 season, and they grew apart. And I feel like he got impatient, Kyle Shanahan. I need him to be more patient with Brock Purdy. I need the fan base to be more patient with Brock Purdy. It's not going to be undefeated.
See, now you're contradicting yourself.
What's that?
I love you. You talked about it at the top of the show. You talked about it on the crossover.
Oh, believe me, I know.
This fan base is not patient.
No.
I watched Jimmy Garoppolo go against a top 5 defense against Minnesota, and people had the audacity to say it wasn't good enough. And I'm like, we're just advanced to the NFC Championship, because you know why? Winning in the playoffs is not easy. You look at all the great quarterbacks who have struggled in their first couple postseasons. It's not easy. Patience. If Brock Purdy opens the season and they lose in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and then have a tough game against the LA Rams, this fan base will be clamoring for Trey Lance. People will start to say Trey, or Sam Darnold.
I know you keep saying Trey, but I think we have to allow this competition to play itself out and let the depth chart set it.
Sam Darnold didn't come here just to be the third string
that's what I'm saying.
I told you that from day one.
That's what I'm saying.
He signed here, and people said, he's a third string quarterback. Sam Darnold doesn't believe that.
Are you more excited to get a look at Sam Darnold up close and personal?
All of them. I want all of them. I want all of them. Also, another storyline, and it's way down on the list, but who's going to be that third wide receiver? Is it going to be Danny Gray or Ronnie Bell out of Michigan? Because they've been looking for that speedster to stretch the defense.
Since Ty Streets.
Ray McLeod, Jawan Jennings. That's another competition right there. Who's going to be that bona fide third wide receiver playing in between Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk?
Who's my right tackle?
Colt McKivitz.